king, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're firing me, yeah, you're firing me, You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Latveria. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, and this is Andre Robert Doomy Jr. C. Very nice, very nice.
Oh, well, come on. That's a good pun. Come on. That was a good pun.
It's good. We're here. We're here to talk about Comic-Con. We're here to talk about the money that Deadpool's made, where it's been, and where it could go in the future as far as the MCU. But Andre, what did you think of the announcements coming out of Comic-Con this weekend?
It gave me goosebumps reading about it. Like, just and watching the announcements, and just it made me excited again. And like, okay, you and me have been insanely and that's the thing, is there's been so much negativity about Marvel in the last few years. Outside of your crazy take on Thor, you and me have very much been very positive about Phase 4. Like, the Eternals is okay.
Yeah.
But there was I thoroughly enjoyed a good chunk of the movies in Phase 4. We had a good time. I just didn't get Moon Knight. That's just, again, weird personal stuff. But we enjoyed the TV shows. We liked Secret Invasion. We had fun watching all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now this just makes me even more excited that the guys who brought us Endgame, brought us Infinity War, brought us the best Captain America, one of the best movies in the MCU in Winter Soldier, are back.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. Everything about it. Like, just, I was watching the interview. Somebody put the panel up they cut out all the good footage. But hearing the cast members talk about the movies they're part of, David Harborough from Stranger Things coming out as Red Guardian, like, just the fun of Comic-Con, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a sight to behold this year at Comic-Con. I mean, let's go ahead and start with, like you've already started with, let's start with the big news coming out of Comic-Con. The Russos are back.
Yep.
Welcome back to the Russos. The Russos are back. We have a new end of phase 6 coming now.
Mm-hmm.
With Avengers Doomsday coming May of 2026, and we'll get to the rest of that and what it entails in a minute. Avengers Doomsday coming in Avengers Doomsday coming May of 2026. In May of 2027, we are still getting Avengers Secret Wars, which is what the Russos told Marvel is the only thing they really wanted left to do, was to tell the story of Secret Wars.
And I guarantee you, them doing Doomsday, they're happy to do it, because this is literally them doing Infinity War Endgame again. Because this is their movie to set up Secret Wars and their movie of Secret. And I was listening to one of the Russos talking, and it's like, this is the comic book that got him reading Marvel, was Secret Wars. And he's not talking, so many people are out there talking about, oh, it's going to be all about the new Secret Wars that happened a few years ago in the comics. No, the Russos are doing the original Secret Wars. Obviously, there's going to be changes. We're not going to get Black Symbiote, things like that. But there's some big stuff. Yeah, Avengers Doomsday, and there's no Superman involved in this Doomsday. That's for sure. We got a better hero.
And then, of course, the Russos, and they were very particular with their wording. And so many people have jumped the gun on this and aren't listening to the wording of what the Russos said.
Multi-universe. They specifically said it multiple times. People are dumb.
Multi-universe, and there's only one person who can play the role of Victor Von Doom.
Yes.
Victor, the key words there is Victor Von Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they revealed to us Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, dude, I've watched that reveal I don't know how many hundreds of times now just to watch him take the mask off and then him the line. Different mask, same task. I love playing complicated characters.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we've got to, if we're going to be talking about it, we should just show it. And I'm just pulling up Discovering Film now. But yeah, same mask, different mask, same task.
Yep.
He's in. He's ready. This is what he's gonna do.
And the rumored contract, I don't know if it's for sure. The number I heard, 2 movies, $80 million.
Yeah, with a potential kicker for Fantastic Four. Which
I feel that the Fantastic Four movie is going to be its own thing because again, the rumor is Galactus for that movie.
We've seen Galactus in that.
Well, yeah,
movie.
they're doing Galactus in that movie, but I think he is the teaser at the end of this, or he appears at the end.
The kicker, the post credit. In movie lingo, that the kicker would be the post credit scene.
He is the Johnny Storm yelling about things of this movie.
And everybody. It's just something, man.
Oh,
it's RDJ.
RDJ, baby. Robert Downey Jr., baby. Oh,
we have Astrid popping in saying, hey. Astrid, I know, still hasn't seen Deadpool, so we're not going to do too many spoiler Deadpool things going on from here.
Nor has Melball.
As Mel jumps in saying, gentlemen, hello. And Mel, since you're here and you weren't here yesterday, we did this for you yesterday, but we'll just do it again.
Yeah, I do it on some shows. I got another one for her.
Yeah.
If I do that, it'll change the background.
Have you recovered from the news of the weekend? Are you okay? I've been worried about you since Astrid told me the news. You heard the news, right?
What news?
Eddie Thorpe is no longer on the market. He's dating Miss Dakota Kai.
Oh, we can't invite him to the show.
I know we cannot invite him to the dating game. She has not recovered.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mel. I guess Yoshihashi's gonna make the list.
Yeah, Yoshihashi will be on the list. Well, let's try to unbreak her heart here by talking about
Unbreak My Heart.
Great movie, great song, love it. Robert Downey Jr. back here. Is there a chance that Marvel is breaking the glass with the fire extinguisher on it by bringing back the Russos, by bringing back RDJ? Is this Marvel overreacting to bad press about their movies and going, we need to fix something, and over-fixing something?
Okay. Yes and no. I don't think it's like overreaction, but it's like, where did you see some of your biggest success? Was with the Russos.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the biggest star in all of Marvel history? It's Robert Downey. You say Marvel, people say Robert Downey Jr. Like, if you say, tell me a person who was in a Marvel movie, I would say more than 50% of people are probably defaulting to RDJ, who took a character that was really a C-level, C-tier character, if you think about it, or a B-tier character. He wasn't like, he didn't have the name of Spider-Man or Captain America. He was a B-tier to the general public, and made him the for lack of a
greatest
better
superhero in Marvel history.
He made him Marvel Jesus.
No. That's still Deadpool.
I know. Just he was the Marvel Jesus. He was the man that they use in everything. And I think bringing him back is a strong move. And you're telling, and I'm happy. You're telling me he's going to be playing a different character. I'm ready. He's gone. Iron Man's gone.
Here's the thing.
Give me something.
You know what I can't wait to see? Avengers Doomsday. Victor Von Doom, Robert Downey Jr., walking into a room and walking into Peter Parker.
Well, okay, that's the thing. I don't think we get that in Doomsday. I think Doomsday is about the very background. It's going to exist within his universe. I think Doomsday is the start of it all. Yes, I think it's going to be him versus his universe's version of the Avengers. And who plays that? I don't know. Or of something of that sort. Maybe his universe is Fantastic Four. Whoever.
Have you heard a funny thing that people said to really fuck with this? The idea of doing the Fantastic Four in this multiverse that they've had for this, to have it be Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and Mark Ruffalo. That's Fantastic Four. and make Chris Evans Mr. Fantastic and stuff. Yeah, no, absolutely.
No. Make him the thing. Just take him completely out and put him in the CGI costume. Yeah, put him in the rubber like Chickless did. Put him in the rubber like Chickless.
No, like I said, I'm fine with this. I think this is going to be the Doctor Doom that is in the Fantastic Four First Steps, and we'll talk more about First Steps in a minute. But I think this is going to be a Doctor Doom that's going to be from the alternate universe that the Fantastic Four is in, because it's going to be in a universe that we've never seen. Yeah. This isn't 3-8. This isn't 1025. 125 like the X-Men universes. This is going to be a completely new and different.
No. Deadpool's in 1005. It's 10005.
Oh, I thought it was 10025.
No, 10005.
Okay. I apologize. Yeah. But yeah, so this is going to be a completely new universe. And while we're doing that, we're going to move on to that. The Fantastic Four showed footage. We have another new title card. The Fantastic Four First Steps.
The way I look at this is I think this movie can take a different direction then. Maybe this is an established Fantastic Four. They've already been a team, and this is where we introducing people like the kids. Like maybe it's first step. We've heard we're going to see Valeria. We're going to see Richards. Franklin Richards. We're going to see Valeria and Franklin Richards in this. That's why I like the First Steps. Is like, okay, but because like we've seen this origin story twice now already.
Yeah,
three times if you've seen the Roger Corman movie.
And Matt Shankman has confirmed the script is not an origin story.
Yeah, and three times
fully fleshed out team of superheroes that already exists in the 60s.
Yeah, and that's why I hope to see this be like the first steps referring to Franklin and his sister coming into this world. And maybe they're still babies. Fantastic car.
The Fantastic car. Look at this background though. If you look at the background of the screen. This is from the test footage. This is the now granted, this is test footage. It is not official footage.
Yeah,
much like the Deadpool footage, because the filming just started this week. They had been doing test footage to get an idea of what the costumes look like, They showed that to the crowd at Comic-Con. And by the way, I watched it. It looked great. For a brief
I wish you would have
I wish
you would have downloaded it, but
I really wish I would have downloaded it too, because I saved it and then all of a sudden Marvel started pulling it from every place. It has a bit of fun to it. It's very campy, very 1960s. It has a very interesting aesthetic. It was filmed in 4:3. Everybody's telling me that not to expect the 4:3 film when we get to the movie.
Yeah,
but
better
this
not.
test footage was filmed in 4:3.
Yeah, to give you that classic look, but they're gonna running that widescreen.
Yeah,
in the movie. Yeah.
Some of the fun things I remember is Reed Richards is basically hosting a television show. He's like a Bill Nye the Science Guy. Him and Thing are like a Bill Nye the Science Guy team.
Okay.
He has that 1965 version of him as Pedro Pascal.
Okay. And I think you know what, being that it's taking place in an alternate 1960s, I think Pedro Pascal is going to be perfection, because that man's like, every time I see him in a movie, he screams old school class. Like that's the vibe he gives off to me. It's old school, like 1960s, like business guy in a suit. Not saying he's anything bad about him, but you know what I mean? Like, he would fit. If you took that man from here and put him in the 1960s, he would fit in. You put him in, you know what I mean? That's the feel he gives me.
And if the poll is still going on, you can go on to Astrid Bizarro's poll on her Twitter, at Astrid Bizarro down here on Twitter. You can go on there and you can vote and tell her that I'm correct and that Pedro Pascal is not hot. He's just kind of an old man. He's not hot.
As a straight man who is very comfortable with my sexuality, that man is gorgeous.
No, he's not that hot. He's really not. So this all stemmed from me and Astrid having a discussion where I was showing her how excited Vanessa Kirby seems to be with working with Pedro Pascal. And during all of her media, she's just looking up at him like a doe-eyed little girl. It's fantastically hysterical. But this week, doing press for this week, she continues to look at him like a doe-eyed little girl. It is very interesting. I am very excited to see this movie. The Fantastic Four has been one of my favorite film franchises for long. I'm still a fan of the early 2000s with the Jessica Alba and the Chris Evans and the Ian Gruffudd and, Michael Chiklis. I love that Fantastic Four stuff. Those movies are good to me. I enjoy them.
Those movies came out when I was in high school. The first one, anyway. The first couple. The first one did it, and I love those movies. Like, I still watch them. I have the Blu-ray sitting on my shelf, just to the right, just over to my right. It, I guess, left on screen, but those movies mean a lot to me, man. Like Toby's movies still mean a lot to me. Well, I think things have been done better with Tom Holland. Toby's movies still mean a lot to me. Those movies, that was the first time I got to see Fantastic Four, one of my favorite comic books of all time, on the live screen. And say what you will say about those movies and the sequel, Alba's performance in that sequel. Ian is the epitome of what Reed Richards should be. He is I think the perfect Reed Richards. Like, as much as, who was the dude that everybody shipped into it and he got the part in Doctor Strange?
What's his name? John Krasinski. And I love John Krasinski. Don't get me wrong. I thought that was a great Reed Richards.
Yeah, but he's still not Ian. Ian is still the ultimate Reed Richards to me. I think Pedro is going to do an amazing job because that man is so good, and he carries the same swagger.
If we had given Krasinski an entire movie, I think he would have won us over by the end.
Oh, 100%.
We got a very short, brief piece of Krasinski. I think if Krasinski had a full movie, I think we would look differently. Some the people that say that he doesn't feel like Mr. Fantastic, I think if we had given him a full movie to really delve into it, I think it would have worked. I really do.
And I'm not saying anything like that. This is the thing I think and I say the same thing for Pedro. I don't know, but when I look at Pedro Pascal, I look at him and I can just imagine that Fantastic Four suit on him, and I'm like, it feels right.
Yep.
The same way I looked at Ian in Fantastic Four and Rise of Lucifer, looked at him in the suit, and I'm like, that just feels right. This and the way he acts, the way he portrays himself. Pedro has that same swagger and ability to do things the way he does, and I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Moving on from the Fantastic Four first steps, we move on to some of the smaller things. We have much less to talk about with these. Thunderbolts asterisks. Thunderbolts is continuing to by the way, July 2025 is the current release date. Somewhere in July of 2025 for Fantastic Four first steps. So they're starting filming this week, and they're expecting to have a fully.
I thought it was 2026.
No, 2025.
Oh shit! Oh, okay. So
it will be coming before Doomsday.
I thought it was coming after Doomsday.
No, that's why we're going to see We're going to see RDJ for the first time in the kicker of the Fantastic Four, because he's announced now. They have time to shoot and put that in at the end of that movie before it comes out.
Okay, but before we move on, before we talk Thunderbolts, I was just looking at the Fantastic Four First Steps Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the people that have been named for the characters, the female Silver Surfer, the characters Galactus, they've an unnamed role. They've got Paul Walter Hauser, John Malkovich, and Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Paul Walter Hauser is expected to play the robot.
MLW superstar Paul Walter Hauser. Get it right.
Douchebag Paul Walter Hauser is expected to play the robot.
Okay.
Also,
the Cobra Kai Paul Walter Hauser.
John Malkovich, I believe, is playing Mole Man.
I don't. It's not confirmed. But it does say like he's in the movie, and then it says Mole Man is expected to appear. Doesn't say he's playing him, but
I know. But I believe the rumors that everybody is anticipating is they're anticipating him to be a lesser villain in the movie, and it is expected to be Mole Man.
John Malkovich. Oh man, is so good at acting.
First Steps is hitting theaters July 25th, 2025. So it'll be this week next year.
So we're getting three movies
next year.
So we're getting 3 movies in the span of about 6 months.
Yep, because we have February, May, and then July.
Okay.
Next year.
Interesting.
Now remember, the only reason why we didn't get a lot of this year is because of the strikes. Deadpool got pushed back because of strikes, or would have been released earlier.
Yeah, I think Deadpool would have been earlier. Yeah,
Captain America Brave New World would have released earlier had it not been for the strikes.
Well, that's a question because they ended up only a few months ago refilming a bunch of shit in the movie and putting
but they probably would have gone with whatever they had already had it
100%, yeah.
Or they would have reshot earlier had everybody been available, because they couldn't do anything because of the strike.
True.
So again, with the strike puts a, yes, I agree with you. They just recently redid reshoots for that movie. However, had there not been a strike, they probably would have been able to do the reshoots earlier, and it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is releasing May 2nd, 2025. It is Thunderbolts asterisks.
I don't get
the cast is up there. They're not telling us a whole lot about the movie. We're expected to see Bucky Barnes in long hair. Bucky Barnes and Yelena Belova are supposed to be the stars of this movie. They're supposed to be the 2 people who really jump off the TV screen. Again, shocker. If any of this is surprising to anybody, shocker. Yelena Belova and Bucky Barnes are expected to be the highlights of this movie.
I'm sorry. It's Sebastian Stan and Florence Pugh. You don't think they're going to be the ones to jump out of this movie for us? Come on.
Also, we're expected to find out who bought the Avengers Tower in this movie. From what I understand, it was led to believe that we're going to find out who bought Avengers Tower in this movie. Also, Dave Harbour was very, very angry at the rest of the cast because he came out dressed as the new Red Guardian. This is his new suit for the movie.
Oh, I loved it so much.
And the rest of the cast decided not to dress up. And he plays off a joke being like, hey, I thought we all agreed we were going to dress up.
They did dress up in their nice clothes.
They did. They looked smashing in all.
And then he leaves, comes back out on stage just in like an overshirt and a t-shirt and shit, looking like he's underdressed compared to them. I'm like, you should have just kept the Guardian suit on, dude.
Yeah. Director Jake Schreier was joined by Geraldine Viswane, Louis Pullman, Tanner John Coleman, Wyatt Russell, Dave Harbour, Julia Louise Dreyfus, Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be the Thunderbolts. Remember, this is also not an evil Thunderbolts.
No.
We are getting Ghost is going to play a pivotal role apparently in this. We're getting a new suit for Taskmaster.
Interesting.
I want to like this movie. I want this to be good. I have my concerns.
The thing is, and I'm going to give it this. You have Sebastian Stan, who, again, has been Bucky forever and has been great. You have Florence Pugh, who's done especially, I think her best work was done in Hawkeye as Jelena Belova. David Harbour is going to be a great comic relief for this movie as Red Guardian. Wyatt Russell, he played U.S. Agent so well, John Walker so well in that movie or in that TV show that it is. And then you have Julia Louis-Dreyfus again, who can play off of certain people to be a great comic relief, but also I think she's going to do well as an evil bad guy. So, I have faith. I have a lot of faith in this movie, dude. I really do.
I don't have faith that it's not going to be an enjoyable time in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling this is going to be one of those movies that I go, I really enjoyed watching this, and then never watch it again. That's my worry about this.
It is not incredible. It is not going to be Incredible Hulk bad, man. Come on.
I didn't say Incredible Hulk bad. I just said it's going to be one of those movies that it's not going to be something I continuously rewatch. It's not going to be something that I'm going to watch over and over again. However, we do know the Thunderbolts will return in Avengers Doomsday. That was also confirmed at the panel. The Thunderbolts are going to return in Doomsday. Kevin Feige apparently tells us they're going to return in Doomsday.
Okay, that is definitely a post-credit scene. Oh.
We also have there was slight new footage shown. Nothing that I could find. Nothing great. Mostly just enhanced pieces of the things we've already seen in the trailer for Captain America: Brave New World.
Mm-hmm.
However, during the press tour for this movie, we got a bunch of cool stuff over the course of the weekend. We have revealed who Giancarlo Esposito is going to be. He is the leader of the Serpent Society Sidewinder. He is not G.W. Bridge as most people thought he might be. He is going to be Sidewinder, which means Seth Rollins might still be in the movie. He won't.
Yes.
That has been cut. But he might be in the movie because if Sidewinder is still in here, there's a small chance that Seth Rollins might have made it.
They might have brought the footage back in, but remember what Giancarlo Esposito looks like in the trailers, in the long coat and everything, pales in comparison to what we saw Seth Rollins' costume looking like when he was on set.
Yeah, it's vastly
that was like that is like comic accurate Serpent Society, where Giancarlo Esposito does not.
No, he does not. He does not look like a serpent. The Serpent Society is going to be in name only, I think, in this movie. However, I'm very excited for this. We got to see on stage, Harrison Ford hulking out. He gave us the mannerisms for hulking out as Red Hulk.
And do you want to? There's a little spot where they were talking about the mustache. And he's like, "Well, I would have grown a mustache if somebody would have asked me to."
He said he would have grown the mustache had he been asked to. However, Marvel says that they didn't want to because they wanted to make it clear that there was something different. Because the way for the line to play off the right way is I'm not used to the new look, is to shave the mustache or lose the election line.
Yeah. Oh no, I get the joke. And again, they're doing the
Iron Man
Tower
2,
to Don Cheadle.
It's me,
line.
deal with it.
Yeah. So I like the creativity and doing that line and have in the trailer and having the callback to Iron Man 2 with that. I very much do like that. But like I don't know. I'm this one. I think I'm very excited for this movie because I'm looking forward to seeing the new Falcon in this and seeing how he plays into this.
Yeah, Joaquin Torres
again. I look forward, and I'm so excited to see them go up against Red Hulk and him bending the shield.
Also, fun things that we also learned in this: Tiamat is the source of adamantium in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
and that'll be the new.
That will be the movie. The movie is a fight over world powers fighting each other over adamantium in the Tiamat Celestial's body.
So that's probably saying the Thunderbolts base will not be inside Tiamat then.
No, the Thunderbolts base will probably not be inside Tiamat.
Because that was what the rumor was forever, that the Thunderbolts base was going to be in Tiamat. So
it seems more and more as we get going with the fact that there's teasing the fact that we're going to find out who bought Avengers Tower. I think that the base for the Thunderbolts is going to be Avengers Tower. I think the U.S. government bought. And by the way, we also had confirmed this is going to be shot and portrayed largely in the same vein as Winter Soldier. It is going to be a spy thriller in the vein of Winter Soldier. Now, just so we're clear, Marvel also claimed that Secret Invasion was going to be in the vein of Winter Soldier, so grain of salt.
But it was.
Yes, but most people missed that fact because everybody didn't about that movie. I know we didn't. So, February 14th, Valentine's Day weekend, Brave New World will open up. Captain America, Brave New World 2025.
I like what West Coast Popcast is saying.
Hey, West Coast Podcast. I was just in there jumping. I was in their stream just a little while ago. If you haven't followed them, please go ahead and give them a follow. They talk about all the same stuff we talk about. They talk about nerd stuff like all of this. They talk about wrestling stuff. If you haven't given them a follow, please go give West Coast Popcast a follow on YouTube. They do streams every Wednesday night during AEW Dynamite most of the time. They're West Coast streams, so it's earlier for them than it is for us. So make sure you go ahead and give them a follow. They're great guys. We're hoping to have them on this channel at some point in the near future, hoping I can reach out to them and see if we can make something work for that. Because I thoroughly enjoyed, I found them through wrestling stuff, but I thoroughly enjoyed all of their weekly X-Men content that they were putting up there on a weekly basis. So definitely go ahead and give them a follow.
But to his point, if Val buys it, I'm going to be like, okay. I'm just
I agree. I agree. It's not the best use of that, but
what she can do is just flip the A upside down and take the little piece out of the middle, and it's now her tower. It's Val Tower.
It's now V Tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we'll be right, but we'll find out May 2nd, 2025, as that's the release date that we got at Comic-Con for this movie. So February 14th, May 2nd, July 25th, 2025. Those are your three Marvel movie dates for 2025 coming out of Comic-Con.
And the fact that you're supposed to have Daredevil coming next year and
we also got confirmation. Astrid pointed this out to me, and I'm going to pull up the Twitter.
That it was Agatha. Well, I can't wait for
exactly what we're talking about.
I knew it. Yeah. I'm a genius. Genius! Yeah.
I will go ahead and pull this up. All right. Present. Share screen. Scarlet Witch updates. we have confirmed the dates for the first 8.
Make that bigger. Make that bigger. Make that bigger.
All right.
I got it.
Only half. It's only half the screen when I do it this way, but that's fine.
Ooh, 9 episodes.
There is 9 episodes, with the 9th episode to be announced when it airs.
Oh.
Are we getting the Halloween episode on Halloween?
No. Put it out on Christmas Day.
You're going to make us wait 8 weeks?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
So September 18th, we get a double dose of Agatha All Along. So that means that week we will have a Marvel Talk going over episodes 1 and 2. We'll then be doing weekly episodes to cover all of these shows. September 25th, October 2nd, October 9th, October 16th, October 23rd, October 30th. Those are the 8 announced dates for the episodes, with the 9th episode to be announced. What that means, I don't know.
I don't know
what that means. And of course, going along with that, we do have the picture of Agatha.
She's gorgeous.
I gotta say that. She is delightful.
Ugh.
So again, Agatha All Along, that is the Agatha All Along news. The only other tidbit of news from Comic-Con that I forgot to mention as we're going through is... Crap, I just forgot it now. It had to do with the Russos, and I forgot something.
They're back!
Well, we already talked about how they're back.
No.
I'll remember it at some point.
Let's talk Deadpool's numbers.
Deadpool did gangbusters.
Well, as of today, man, the numbers are it's still climbing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I pulled the box office mojo. It's nuts.
As of the weekend, it was expected to have been 205. I believe the final number was 211 million domestic.
211,435,291 for the domestic opening, which is USA and Canada.
Yeah.
So
worldwide opening did do 233. And I got this because look at the picture for Deadpool and Wolverine on this first spot. I want that as the poster for the American version. That's the Chinese version of the poster.
Oh, there was multiple posters here around the world.
Yeah, but none of our posters were them in a fucking wrestling ring.
It's true. That's crazy. Those numbers are but I'm saying the numbers for the other movies are still really good too.
Yep.
Worldwide.
Remember, this is also international. Yeah.
Yeah. But even that's great for those movies though.
Do you want to hear the unfathomable things that this movie did in numbers?
Listen.
It is the number 1 domestic opening for any Ryan Reynolds movie. It is the number 1 opening Hugh Jackman movie. It is the number 1 opening Sean Levy movie. It is the number 1 opening in the X-Men franchise.
Okay, that one's hard. Would be hard to argue in the first place because none of these movies open to this much. Remember, it didn't cost as much when all the good movies were coming out, and those last couple fucking young cast ones were.
I'm just reading off the numbers as they are.
So,
2024 domestic opening for the entire year. It is the number 1. It is the number 1 all-time R-rated opening weekend movie and domestically. It is the number 1 domestic opening in the 2020s. It's the number 2 domestic opening in the 2020s, not the number 1. It is the number 5 overall domestic opening in the MCU. It is the 8th all-time highest domestic opening, period. It is the 34th.
But what you're saying is Marvel has 5 of the top 8 domestic openings of all time.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. It is the 34th consecutive MCU film to open at number 1 domestically. There has never been an MCU movie to not open at number 1 on its week. It is the 4th ever R-rated movie to open at over $100 million. It is the first R-rated film to open at above $150 million. And again, A lot of these pictures that I'm going to be showing you are graphics from Dan Murrell. I greatly appreciate Dan Murrell. He does fantastic work with numbers. I watch his Charts with Dan every week. If you haven't seen Dan Murrell, please go check him out. He does fantastic work breaking down numbers, including pulling up the numbers on the age of the audience that bought the tickets. Because 36. It's an R-rated... What's that?
36.
It skewed 63-37 male versus female. The highest demographic was indeed 36 through 45. That is us. That is us millennials who grew up during the X-Men franchise period. It then skewed slightly lower at 28 to 35, 18 to 25, and then 44 to 60 had 12%. However, let's give a big thanks to the 5% of people who bought tickets to this movie that were 55 or older.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds' mom and her friends.
There's a lot,
and all of Hugh Jackman,
older folks in this crowds.
All of Hugh Jackman's friends.
Yes, because they are all definitely senior citizens.
No, they're all 55 and up.
But when we talk about the MCU, we're going to go ahead and talk about this. And again, Dan put together a great franchise chart for the MCU. It is the 5th highest opening for an MCU movie. It's actually going to be number 4 because this is when this was done with the numbers at 205, which was the estimated number coming out Monday morning. It did, however, go up. So it will have, in this theory, it passes the Avengers.
Ooh.
To number 4. Opening at if it opened at 211 million, like we're hearing, it theoretically passes the Avengers here. That means that it was only topped by Infinity War, No Way Home, and Endgame.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense.
When you change these numbers for inflation, it only moves down to number 9.
You know what's sad is the Marvels is still in last.
Yes. Well, it's because that number never changes because there's no change of inflation for that.
There's been inflation in the last year.
Not enough to make any sizable difference on that movie.
I know.
Which is sad because it's honestly one of my favorite Marvel movies.
I enjoy the Marvels.
We both thoroughly enjoyed the Marvels. But yes, as we're looking here, it is number 9 behind Civil War, Iron Man 3, Black Panther, Age of Ultron, The Avengers, No Way Home, Infinity Wars, and Endgame when you adjust the numbers for inflation.
That makes sense.
Here's where things get real fun. When you track it with the all-time money made by the movies domestically, not adjusted for inflation, Deadpool has already passed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films. Theoretically, it passes 8 films because it passes Thor: The Dark World when it gets to 211.
Well, and I'm going to say that, are you talking just opening weekends?
No, this is domestic gross full stop.
Oh, yeah. They're already at 261 million.
All right, so 261 puts them between Iron Man 2 and Captain America Winter Soldier. So in literally the first week, it will have passed the entirety of the Winter Soldier, non-adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is astronomical when you think about it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Where do you think it ends up? So, do you think it ends up in the? Do you think this grosses $1 billion domestically? Yes or no?
Oh God, no. Dude,
okay.
Endgame didn't do $1 billion domestically.
It did not. It did not. That's why I wanted to see if I could catch you on that one.
I'm going to look. Let me see.
So if
I love how good Love and Thunder is doing on this list. By the way, it's in 15th.
Yeah.
Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder.
A lot of people went to see it, and a lot of people were very disappointed.
I don't know why. It was a great movie. I'm gonna say it. Oh. To 260 right now, and it's only been out for 6 days. Gonna have another weekend bump. I'm gonna put it around where Guardians 3 is sitting.
Really? That low? At the end of its run, it's going to end there.
Okay, no. Maybe let's go. It's going to end up in 9th. It'll outpace Doctor Strange.
All right, I'm going to surprise you here. I think by the end of its run, Deadpool and Wolverine will be in between the Avengers and the Avengers Age of Ultron. I think it'll be somewhere near $500 million domestically when it's all said and done.
I'm saying they're going to be in 9th, and I think they're going to have around 420 mil.
All right.
And you're saying you're adding on about an extra 40 mil.
I'm putting it somewhere around the 500 million mark because Age of
Avengers
Ultron
is
459, Avengers does 623. So I'm saying it's somewhere around 550 by the end of it.
Okay.
Honestly, if having seen it, I think it's going to top Black Panther. I just don't know if it's going to have that much resale value that people continue going back and back and back to see it again and again and again. That's the only problem I have with getting it any higher.
That's the reason why I'm saying it's only going to get to maybe 9th, maybe.
When you change this for inflation, this is what it looks like. Change for inflation. Change for inflation. Avengers Endgame does do over $1 billion domestically.
And Love and Thunder is still in the top 20. Let's go.
Barely.
It's number 20. It's in the top 20.
By the way, just so we're clear, the Marvels changes by a whole $3,000, $3 million, Andre.
I know. I feel bad for that movie.
For inflation.
I feel bad for that movie.
I still think it falls in the same ish area. I think it falls a little bit lower. I think, like I said, I think it's 550, which puts it between Iron Man 3 and Age of Ultron for me. You said about 420. 420. So that puts it between Iron Man 2 and Guardians, the original Guardians.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It's just funny how some of these movies take a real tumble when it comes to adjusting it for inflation.
Yeah.
Like Guardians 3. You put it right. Yeah. I was going to say, you put it right after Guardians 3 domestically. Yeah. Right in between Guardians 2 and Guardians 3. No, wait, you put it at 420, right?
Originally, I was going to put it there, but then I realized, it's going to jump to about 420. It's going between Marvel and
Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange 2. Yeah.
Like I said, this thing just did insane numbers. This movie has done insane numbers. It will do insane numbers. I think worldwide it'll cross $1 billion easy. I think it'll push one. I think the international numbers are going to do a big bit of heavy lifting for this movie.
Yeah.
I think it'll do very well internationally because unlike a lot of Marvel films, there's not a lot in this that changes for the international versions.
Wonder what it made just in Wales.
I mean, that's a funny idea. Oh, because of
because he owns a football team there.
That's a weird place to just that one place. How did it do?
But just it would be. I want to know because I know he did do like a premiere thing there with this one too. Again, like he did it with Free Guy, and I think he did something there in Wrexham for this movie too. I think they did a thing in Wrexham. I don't think he was there, but they did like a thing in Wrexham for it too. Like a couple days prior to coming out, like it was like a premiere screening in the city. I think so. I could be wrong.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Andre, what have you got coming up this week?
So we have more G1 coverage coming out over on on my channel, Andre Mobile Wrestling Talk tomorrow. Friday is going to be a very, very packed edition of the Japanese Wrestling Update. We're going to be talking about the G1. Get y'all updated on that. We're going to be talking Stardom and so much happening in Stardom over this last week or so. Our last 2 to 3 weeks, it's been just insane there. We haven't had much coverage for it just because it's heck of a time. We're gonna have some Stardom stuff covering last weekend shows coming out either this weekend or early next week. So tune into that on my channel. And just lots of stuff coming out over the next little bit on there, covering G1, covering Stardom, covering Marigold, lots and lots of stuff coming out over there. And
And Marigold's loss is going to be NXT's gain. We found out that the August 18th show is going to be the final show in Japan for Miss Julia, as she will be headed stateside to go ahead and work with WWE. She'll be taking her talents to the WWE, much like LeBron James took him to South Beach.
to win a championship.
She will indeed be winning a championship almost immediately upon arrival, I would imagine.
I don't think so. I think they're going to hold it off. So I was listening. Okay, so I was listening to the guys over at Up Next today, well, on my podcast feed today while listening, and they were saying, what if they hold it off and they go all the way to Deadline, and instead of the Iron Survivor match becomes a match for the championship with Julia, Vecchia, Roxanne, and Bull Device, I guess. Others. That's that Delta chick, right?
This is Delta, yes. I have a feeling if we're talking December, this lady needs to be in that equation too.
I just don't think she has the same name cachet coming in as others do. Because I don't feel like anybody's talking about Delta more than the hardcore.
They should be.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you. I've seen a couple of her things, and she's really good. But again, she doesn't have the same name, that cachet that like a Julia has, that Stephanie Vecchia has brought. So.
But remember, if we're talking Deadline, we're pushing. You're talking December, and I think at that point, Stephanie will theoretically have been here for 4 months, because theoretically, Stephanie should be here any night. I expected her last night. I expected her last week. Stephanie Vecchia should be debuting any day now. They rushed her out of CMLL to rush her onto those shows in Mexico. She has new ring gear made and ready for her NXT debut. She's been mentioned twice now, as well as footage being shown of the matches in Mexico. I would expect her to debut within the next couple weeks. I think she debuts. I think Julia debuts. I think there's going to be a lot of fun to be had over the next 3 months, 4 months with them. And I could see Deadline being Stephanie Vecchia, Julia, Delta, Roxanne Perez, and somebody. I don't envy that fifth person in that match. It will not be Lola Vice.
Lola Vice.
It will not be Lola Vice.
It'll be Lola Vice.
It'll probably be Cora Jade if we're really honest.
Lola Vice.
It will not be Lola Vice.
Lola Vice.
You can, of course, catch all of my stuff here on Twitter at EdFries12584. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/EdFries2002. You can catch me every Tuesday night with the natural Ash Mazar as we talk all things NXT.
And Lola Vice.
Unfortunately, we have to talk about her every Tuesday, too. It's a sad, sad thing, but we get through it. You can also catch me anchoring the post-show coverage for SummerSlam this weekend, as we got the Ole coverage of SummerSlam this weekend. Thankfully, with no Lola Vice, it'll be a great weekend. No Lola Vice on the SummerSlam card. 7 matches there on that card, though, so we'll be looking forward to that. If you want to hear us talk about Lola Vice, you can watch last night's episode of NXT Taking Over, which will be going live today because I accidentally set it for the wrong day. So it's going live on Thursday as opposed to Wednesday when it was supposed to go live, because I made an oopsie. Oops. But yeah, no, you can catch our coverage there. Andre, next week, Marvel Talk. Are we sticking with Deadpool 1 or are we going to put Ant-Man back where it belongs?
I thought we were doing Ant-Man.
All right, we're going to do Ant-Man then. Well, because originally we were planning on doing Deadpool 1.
Yeah, but we were planning to do Ant-Man last week, so Ant-Man gets
I just wanted to double check and make sure that that's what we were doing. That's all.
Yeah, Ant-Man next week.
Ant-Man next week. All right.
It's like I just have to look at. I got to look at the schedule though. So we have Ant-Man on the 7th, and then probably coming back on the 21st with Deadpool. And
Yeah.
then the 4th would. I might not be able to do the 4th because I got. We'll figure it out. The 11th could be the last MC rebound for a while.
Yes, because then we run right into Agatha All Along. And that will take us through most of the fall, and it'll take us basically into the beginning of the winter.
Yep.
So it is definitely going to be an interesting time here for Marvel Talk. We greatly appreciate you all joining us. I have been OLED Ed Fries. This has been Robert Doomey Jr. We will see you next time. Goodbye.